Battlefield 1 is pushing 9 years this year, but for some reason it maintains an absurd amount of servers in Europe. I'm not even showing Russia or Frontlines here. The name is Ace. In this video, we will discuss the possible reasons for this incredible journey. You want to stick around until the end because we'll make an epic push for the enemy home base, you won't want to miss it. I know what you might think. Ace just thinks like everyone else and it's the Battlefield 1 immersion that keeps players. And you're not wrong, it's a defining Battlefield 1 feature. But this is not what I will discuss here today. I think the main reason is honestly how easy it is to enter Battlefield 1 and just have fun. It's a very simple game with basically non-existent barrier to entry. Take me for example on Sinai Desert here. I just joined, I looked at the map before I spawned in and noticed we have aggressive infantry, but our vehicles are sitting in the base, so I just took this tank with me, and boy, we'll make good use of this tank throughout this round, with the support of our team of course. If you still haven't left a like and subscribe, I post Battlefield videos every other day among other things and would love to provide content for you. Please consider subscribing and liking the video, thank you so much. If you compare Battlefield 1 to titles that are not that much older than Battlefield 1, this game, at least in my region, is defeating Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. That's not to say those games are not great, those are GOAT games, but there's a barrier to entry in those two titles, and a lack of servers as well. Perhaps people who really play Battlefield 1 all day just never played the previous titles and have no interest in learning those games at this stage. And you know what? I don't blame them. That's not to say that Battlefield 1 takes no skill, but that skill is a little bit different from other titles. I'm in a tank here to primarily counter the snipers on Sinai Desert, which is a notorious map for sniper players, and I'm giving incredible value to my teammates by doing so, while staying, for the most part, out of the effective range of enemy assaults. Because let's face it, a dead tank does not provide any value obviously. Vehicles here are very self-sufficient in my opinion. I can repair myself, which means I don't need to go out or risk getting my tank stolen by either my teammates or the enemy team, and so on. It's a pretty nice quality of life feature in my honest opinion. Of course, the tanks here are limited by the era, at least the assault tank. I have to move my entire body to aim on different angles. But you have to look at it the other way. The anti-tank infantry classes are also limited by the era. I really think that in some aspects they successfully achieved a solid balance between land vehicles and infantry in Battlefield 1. Of course, a tank will always beat up infantry, that is self-explanatory, but it's a little bit more balanced here in my honest opinion compared to other Battlefield titles. What do you think about this? Let me know in the comment section. I would love to read your thoughts about this. And this is what I mean with the barrier to entry is very small. Anyone with just a few rounds in Battlefield 1 tank understands already how it works and how to find some value for your team. So your personal skill in this game is just define how well you understand your class or vehicle and having just decent aim, honestly. I think this game is extremely loved for these reasons. And those reasons are simplicity. And there is beauty in simplicity. Sometimes it just defeats convolution. The question remains for us, did DICE plan this with Battlefield 1, or is this just how we learned this product and carried on with it all these years? Because they never actually introduced any convoluted systems in Battlefield 1 throughout its lifetime. The other major hook must be the Role 1 setting. For me at first, a major drawback for the game coming out of Battlefield 4 that just recently got fixed up by the SLA. I was just simply not ready to jump back 100 years and play with those era weapons, and it took me quite a while to look past my ignorance and give the game a real chance. Do you guys feel the same way? Let me know in the comment section. And then I saw the maps and heard the soundtracks for the first time. And I was like, wait, Monte Grappa, I learned about this place in history in high school. This is where my countrymen fought all those years ago, and it felt like I'm one of them. The World 1 hook got to me very quickly. The attention to detail and trying to portray these maps as closely to the real locations as possible was a difficult but a necessary task for a game in this setting, and it was all started by just a handful of developers back at DICE. Quote, the idea of setting the game during World 1 was considered risky, so a small group worked on early concepts to prove that the setting could work for modern shooter. So get this, a small team of people managed to convince the massive EA corporate giant that us playing with a weapon called Selbstlader 1916 is somehow a good idea. It blows my mind they actually convinced EA, who at the time of course was pushing instead for games like Battlefield 4 or Hardline, and they basically haven't produced any robot style game in over a decade. So those two reasons, on top of its immersion, on top of its solid guns and decent gunplay, I think is why we still see that amount of servers for Battlefield 1. With that being said, let's finish this Sinai Desert together. What do you think about it? Now, taking this breakthrough sectors, the final sectors that have 3 points, can be extremely challenging, especially on a map like Sinai Desert, as I mentioned, which has a lot of snipers, but we are in tank and we took the tank for that reason, to try to provide some suppressive fire for our infantry until they take position. That's what I'm doing here. I'm waiting for them to enter this house on my left, and then, only then, will I move to Alpha, because I can get flanked by a tank from behind me, and these guys are gonna spot these tanks, they're gonna shoot them. From here they have a very good vantage point, and my own snipers are gonna enter those houses and try to provide pressure on the other guys. The way you play these breakthrough final sectors doesn't have to be just Battlefield 1, it can be any other Battlefield that has breakthrough, is by sectioning them out. You want to take first the flanks, that's what we're doing here. Unfortunately, this flank, as you see, is defended by 2 tanks. They have a bat-up tank and a land ship. Fortunately for me, I don't think the bat-up saw me, only the land ship did. So we're gonna fall all the way back and see if the land ship wants to engage. And there's the shell from the land ship, so okay, he wants to engage. Just trying to make sure my infantry guy doesn't die here by shooting all the snipers. Now let's fight the land ship. He's a bit hard to see here, as you can see. He's behind the tree, but I see him. My infantry guy doesn't see him, but the land ship somehow missed him. I don't know how he missed him on that fucking range. We're gonna kill the land ship and then try to secure Alpha as well. There's a stationary guard on Alpha. I just don't remember if he can hit me somehow from this angle. So kill the land ship, go in, that's our plan here. And when you're playing in the assault tank, use this spotlight as often as you can. I think the cooldown is super short and it basically saves you the trouble of pressing Q when everything's gonna be spotted. And they're not just spotted for you, they're spotted for your entire team. The spotting in Battlefield 1 is extremely powerful. So keep mind of that if you're gonna play in the assault tank or try to replicate some of the stuff I'm doing here. We're taking Alpha. I have an infantry guy in my tank who is shooting the back machine guns, so perhaps I don't have to worry about that bat-up tank that is still alive. Nobody killed the bat-up, but I can see him popping up on the kill feed earlier, so he's still alive. And you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna ignore him. So we're gonna move forward and try to make sure that nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, comes from the left side of here. And then we're just gonna do a typical spearhead assault on Charlie to try to take the point and win the game. And this is what I like to do after we get Alpha and Bravo. Here's the shell from the bat-up tank. I think that has to be him, or it's a stationary gun. I like to go up this hill and then, as usual, suppress the snipers and win the game this way. I don't know what the hell this is. Is this a Villa Perossi? I forgot if there's like elite Villa Perossi. Yeah, that's a Villa Perossi. Okay. I tried to roadkill him there, but I failed. Luckily, my infantry kills him. And you see how in this game, in Battlefield 1, the infantry, they just move with you. It's kind of nice. You know, in other Battlefield games, they don't move with you because they're dying to, you know, a million helicopters, jets, and so on. But here, on Sinai Desert, they move with you, especially if they see that you're doing something. So, if you play tank, make sure that you show them courage. Show them confidence. Push in. They're gonna push with you. Look at the map. They're all behind me. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching once again. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.